Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jeanette Collins, and I'm a brand new Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have a beautiful stamp set to share with you. It's called Sweet as a Peach. I purchased the bundle with my sign-on kit, and I am so excited to be sharing this with you. It's a beautiful, distinctive set, meaning that the stamps are very realistic when they stamp because they show different opacities in the image itself. So let's get started with the card. Today I'll be using Petal Pink as my card base, and this is what I did. It was a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. I cut it in half long ways, and it's going to make a top folding card for me. So just like so. And of course this is an A2 size, which is 4.5 by 5.5. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. I also have brought in some pieces I've already stamped and colored, and these are the beautiful distinctive peaches. I did a process called a dabbing effect. You can find my video called Sweet as a Peach Technique, and it will show you exactly how to get this effect. Now you can see these are the same stamps, but they are beautiful because they look so different just from the different dabbing. I'll be doing that same technique with the flowers, so that will be fun today. In addition to my 2 die cut pieces, I have 3 pieces of cardstock. This is basic white cardstock, and I have 3 different sizes here. This one will be used for the inside of my card, and it's cut at 3 3/4 by 5. The next size down will be used as the base of my on the front of my card, and it is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And the smallest piece will be the show. It's where we're going to do our stamping today, and it is measured at 2 3/4 by 4. So let me show you the rest of the things you're going to need in order to make the card. Hopefully you'll rewatch this and give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. We're going to be using the branch stamp. It looks on the stamp front, it looks like it's 3 pieces, but it's actually one big stamp. So isn't that cool? Okay, so we're going to be using that. In addition, we're going to be using this trio of flowers, and again, it's just one stamp. And you can tell the flowers are different sizes. I always aim at the smallest one when I'm placing it down. And then you're going to need this little splat dot, which makes the center of the flower. And today I want to use happy birthday because I do have somebody I need to connect with and send them a happy birthday. All right, in addition to that, I'm using the 2, let's see. This is a new in color. It's called Pale Papaya, and that's going to be the base of our flowers. We will be doing some dabbing with the Calypso Coral, and of course the green is for the leaves and for this branch. In addition to that, I'm going to use this beautiful Pale Papaya open weave ribbon. It's very soft and pliable. It's gorgeous. And to top off my flowers, I'm going to use the basic jewels, which is a rhinestone, just a plain little rhinestone. If you would like to purchase any of this anything from Stampin' Up, including the inks and the stamp set, you can visit me at JeanetteCollins.stampinup.net. Again, my name is Jeanette with one N, and JeanetteCollins.stampinup.net. I'm soon to have a website going, but it's not quite up there, but you can still find me at the Stampin' Up site. And this is the Sweet as the Peach, and I purchased the bundle, which is the dies and the stamp set. Here are the dies. Because I did use this die to cut the peach along with this one to cut the leaves. So when you go in the catalog, you're going to look for the bundle and get the stamp set and the dies together, and it's at a great price point at $36.75. Okay, let's get started with the card. All right, so I think the first thing I want to do in bringing in my card base is to put down the first panel on the front. The reason why I chose this size, which is 3.5 across by 4 3/4, is because when I place it down, you see how nice of a border it makes. It gives you a lot of, it's just so pleasing to the eye, to me, to see that large border. So I'm going to take my Tombow monoliquid glue, which is the glue of my preference when I'm making cards, and just put a small little squiggly line all around and a little swirl. Doesn't take much for this to hold. And this again is just going to be the base. Actually, this is the card base. Now we're going to put our first layer on. And you just have to eyeball it. You have to look at the top and the bottom and both sides and then place it down. Now see, like here it looks like it's a little, it has more room. So I do have just a little bit of time to scooch it over. And there, that looks really pretty. That is something I'm a little particular about, is all my edges and stuff. Okay, and then we could put this one down, but I'm going to stamp on it. Now I said this piece, which is even larger than that one, is going to go on the inside, but I'm going to stamp on it, so I'm going to leave it for a little later. So we're going to be working with this piece, which is 2 3/4 by 4. All right, and we're going to do some stamping. We're going to stamp the branch and the pear pizzazz. Put my glue away. You guys, I'm so very happy to be doing this. Excited to share with you. Hope you enjoyed the stamp. All right. Okay, I've got it stamped up really nicely. I'm going to put it at an angle just to kind of give it some interest. And I'm leaving room at the bottom so that I can put my sentiment on the front of this card. And I do like cards where I do a lot of stamping instead of just putting all die cuts. There's time and place for all die cuts, but not this card. All right, and see the distinctive. That means you've got different layers, opacities that are coming out in the stamp. And I guess these are laser cut because you can see that there's some raised edges on the stamp itself, and that lifts so that you don't get the ink just flat. All right, now we need to add the flowers, and the flowers are so much fun to add. I'm going to close this ink because I think that's all we need it for today. Okay, we're going to do the first stamping in the Pale Papaya, which is, like I said, a brand new in color this year. Actually, just this brand new, all the new in color and everything came out May 4th. So everything is brand new. It's so much fun. And the annual catalog is just absolutely gorgeous. All right, so let's take the stamp set. And, you know, I had to play with this and kind of look at it and say, well, you know, which way do I want it to go? And as you can see here on the stems, they fall off like right here, and there's a space here. There's a space here from this one and here. So, you know, you just have to look at it, and if it's not perfect, it's okay. But just stamp it where you think. And I think what I did is I put the smallest flower toward the bottom here. So, let's see. I think that's what I did, but I'm not positive. And that's what you do, is you just turn it. Okay. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing, huh? Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm sorry. So it looks like the smallest flower is actually the one at the top. So the small one's at the left, the big one's at the top, and now this one will fall right there. So we're going to ink up this in the pale papaya first. Now this is the technique that I showed you in the previous video with how to get the variation in color. Okay, let me get it again. Kind of set it right here. You know, and if it's not perfect, it's all right. And I love to hold down my stamp just a little bit to let the paper absorb the ink, since these are dye inks. Lovely. And again, you can see that this is a distinctive stamp because of all the variation in the opacity of color. Now what I'm going to do is take this little dauber. You can buy these through Stampin' Up. And I'm going to use this dauber to put color on my stamp itself. So I've seen people do it different ways, but I experimented with it, and what I did is after I stamped, then I put the dauber stuff on. So I'm going to I stamped in the very center of the big flower. I'm going to put some ink on the outside of this flower, the tiny one, and then on the outside of this one. And notice I didn't have to go back and keep inking with my little dauber. All right, and then we're going to line it up again. And stamp. Hold it down just for a few seconds and lift. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Okay, and now I'm going to take my little center, and we're going to use the Calypso Coral and stamp it up and put a little dot in each center of the flower. Oh, it's so pretty. I just love it. This makes me so happy. I hope it's making you happy watching. All right, so I'm going to put these inks away for now so I don't get anything in them, like my fingers. Okay. All right, now I want to stamp the sentiment. I'm going to stamp the sentiment in black ink. So let me put them, I'm just going to set it to the side here. I'm sorry you can't see it, but my sentiment is happy birthday. Right there, and I'm going to stamp it down the very, very bottom, getting it as close as I can. So let me ink it up with my black Memento ink. Make sure it's covered real well. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to try to line it up as best I can without getting my head in the way, and stamp down and hold it just for a second. You don't want to rock your stamps because you could, you know, make them, I don't know. I guess you could get the edges of the outline of the stamp. Beautiful. Look how crisp and clean that's stamped. All right, so got that done. And before we add this to the card, I think this is the time to add the ribbon. Now, I must say I have never really worked with ribbon much in my card making prior to getting started with Stampin' Up. I just didn't, you know, I didn't add ribbon, and I know why. It's because I would have had to go out and search for ribbon that would match the color of the inks I was using from the different companies. Well, with Stampin' Up, you don't have to do that because everything matches. The ink, the designer paper matches the ink, the ribbons match the ink. So they just make it so easy for you. All right, I think this is just a little bit short, so I'm gonna pull it. Like I said, this is not my expertise at all, so bear with me. I hope you will comment and tell me where you're from and that you are watching and give me the support. You know how it is when you're first getting started and things are a little nerve-wracking. I'm going to use my clamp scissors, clamp tweezers to hold that knot while I tie a small bow because I don't want anything too big. If I can get it around my fingers, that's always the problem. My mother sewed for years, and I remember her telling me about how sometimes her fingers got in the way. Okay, let's see. Almost have it. It's like tying a bow when you're tying your shoe. Okay, this one's way too long, so I'm gonna pull it back, and I'm gonna keep pulling it. Oh, so this side is still too long, so I'm gonna pull it again. And that looks much better. Oh, I'm almost running out of ribbon. I better pull it through. Make it smaller. Make it smaller. Okay, I think that's about the best I'm going to be able to do, especially while I'm online. Maybe somebody can give me a tip as I learn to tie ribbons. I know I could have just tied a knot, and maybe that's what I should have done. But, you know, if you don't try, then I'll never learn. Because it would be easy just to go, nope, not doing that. Okay, that's not horrible. I'm just got to snip this side here. I even told my friend, I'm like, some of the cards I see online, they just have so many bows, so many big bows. So I'm not a huge fan, but this ribbon is so pretty, and the fact that it does go with our colors, it's nice. Okay, one more time. I gotta keep fiddling with it. Maybe that's what the trick is, not to keep fiddling with it. All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. Now, I have those rhinestones I want to add to my, I'm going to add them to the center of my flowers. I need a little tool. Yeah, pick them up. You know, starting as a demonstrator, I don't have everything from Stampin' Up that would be helpful to me. So I'm just starting with what I have. I hope that encourages those that are new, that you don't have to have the whole catalog in order to get started. I bought 2 bundles as part of my welcome to Stampin' Up, because I could choose whatever I wanted, and I knew I wanted some paper. All right, that's beautiful. Those little jewels just add so much. And happy birthday. Really pretty. Okay, now back to the card. Now, I can either put this down flat, like so, which, you know, I do mail, you know, most of my cards, and so I don't like them too bulky. But for this one, just because it's already got the ribbon and stuff on it, I'm going to use the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, which are these hexagon looking shapes, and put them in the middle here and on the very end of the card. All right, and then you just stab and pick up, take the little tops off. Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing about the difference in Stampin' Up! And other companies is, like the rhinestone jewels, those were already backed with the, what do they call that stuff? The glue dots. So they already have their backing. And most of the time when you buy jewels, you're having to either glue them on or put them on with your own glue dots. Now, I think I love the simple look of this. I mean, the fanciest thing I have on here, or the most big thing, is the ribbon. And so if that's not your style, just take it off and you would have just the plain look, which is beautiful in itself. But I do like the big borders. I like the big border here. And I like that this one's popped up in this very simple sentiment on the front. So I'm not having to cut more pieces to layer on top. And now to do the inside, so leave that right there. Get my card base. Oh, my card base is there. All right, my card base, I want to stamp. I know what I want to do. I wanted to put this peach here. And I'm just going to put it flat, but I should have also gotten happy birthday. You're as sweet as a peach. Or hope your day is as. Okay, I'm going to get that out. Hope your day is as sweet as a peach. Okay, I'm going to put this down on the surface and pick it up. And so this will be, hope your day is as, and then sweet as a peach. Okay. Again, put this down. Whoops. Put it face down like you're going to stamp it, and then bring your block to it. And I always turn it so that it feels comfortable in my hand when I'm going to go down to. So if it doesn't feel comfortable, just pick it up again. You don't have to have it straight on. You can kind of have it at an angle, and then it's easier to, like this. It feels nice in my hand when I'm going to go straight down. All right, so let's stamp that out. Hope your day is as sweet as a peach. And I think we're going to do this in a color. I'm going to say, hope your day is as, let's do it in the Pale Papaya. Ink that. It's going to go right in the middle. Hold it for a few seconds. Hold the paper and lift. Well, that's light, but it's readable. Hope your day. Well, and that's because now sweet as a peach is going to be, it's going to stand out because I'm going to use the Calypso Coral. Okay, let's put that right here. Center and down, hold it. Just hold it. You don't have to be pressing real hard. Just hold it. Let that ink absorb into the paper. And lift. Oh, it's beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay. And you know, I could have just stamped my peach and all, but I thought it would save a little time so that this video wouldn't get too long. Putting a little bit of liquid glue on the end of that stem, and I'm going to put it behind the peach. And then I'm going to put the whole thing flat. So I'm going to use my glue and just go around on the leaf around. So it will be flat. And I think that's a wonderful, pretty card with the peach blooms on the front of the card and the peach on the inside. There. And then lastly, so this is the front, and this is the inside. Hope your day is as sweet as a peach. I must close these, or else I'm going to get my card in it. It's one thing you'll learn when you become become a Stampin' Up person. I love the compact style. And I remember the old style where you had to flip and turn and all that stuff, and I was like, what in the world? It just seemed a little awkward. All right, so now what I'm going to do is put ink. Let's use some glue again and just put that little tiny bead of glue, put it in a swirl, and then let's get this in there. And again, just kind of look at the top, the sides, and bottom. Press it in. And there we go, folks. We have a beautiful card. Happy birthday. It is a top fold. Hope your day is as sweet as a peach. I just absolutely love this set. I'll be back again. I hope you will again give me a like and I guess that's a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel since I'm so very new. I would love to love for you to follow and see what I'm going to come up with next. Thank you for being with me, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.